This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 227 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your host with the stacked deck of characters, Eric Getty Gettinger. We're so close to being allowed to throw in spooky betas, I can taste it. Alex, I can taste it. With me is the real king. Is the real king of the podcast, Alex Arona. Tastes delicious. Thank you.
No, it tastes like, what was it, the candy corn. No one likes those. What are we even doing here? Is this a Batman reference? Is this a Persona 5 reference? Is this a... I don't know. Is this a... What's his name? Steely Dan reference? It's not even Steely Dan.
No.
It's not even Steely Dan. I can't come up with it off the top of my head. And if we are the Royal Flush Gang, I am obviously the Jack.
I have no idea about that, or any depressing swing set scenes that may or may not have rocked my childhood.
Oh man, I forgot. You know what?
Yeah, now you're thinking about it.
That memory did not exist like for a long time. That was deep in a box.
Now,
you said that.
Now you're thinking about it.
I don't like
Next
that.
up is the man who has his very own legend of Soltar, Joel DeWitt.
Look, I like free cell, but what's with this candy corn hate? I don't get it.
Candy corn is a trash treat for trash people.
Yep,
I said it.
Well, I guess I'm just in the dump here. I don't know, guys. I
have
think
a garbage
it comes
day
around the perfect time a year. Once a year, you get like a small bag, or what you do is like buy a bag and then split it with another family, and that's the right amount to have at home for Halloween.
All I'm understanding is that once a year, candy corn rises from its grave, and you're reminded about how awful it is.
Rise from your grave.
Would you
Joel,
rather do the
it.
candy corn or the candy pumpkins?
I don't know.
At least their pumpkins taste like something other than candy corn. They've got the ones that are caramel.
That's true. Either way, Joel, you are a monster. Free cell? Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
No. Lastly, we got our own Joker of the podcast, Alec Parks.
I'm the wild card? Me? Just saying this feels like a missed opportunity.
Usually is, but not as big of a missed opportunity as homework. You guys finish your homework? Can we turn it in this week? Joel, you could do the homework? All right, I'm going to say it. Shame, shame, I know your name.
We have two standing holdouts. We didn't even have to beat it.
No, you just had to get a taste. Break off some of those delicious underwater space rocks and eat them for sustenance.
I got a taste and it was salty.
You really went. You were down too deep, Alec. You really aren't. You're supposed to come up for air.
Mm-hmm.
Now who's getting really close to riding that line?
Well,
I don't get that one. Do you guys get that one?
Mm-mm.
Guys, time to put on our big boy pants, power through, and maybe next week.
Next week.
Next week? Can I get that in writing?
You have it in voice. That's good enough.
The internet.
Is it though?
The internet
if
knows.
If it was, we'd all have PS5s.
Brutal. They're so mean to me.
Anyway, this week we're going to get a little tricked out in early adopters, slow things up with the news. I'm really excited about that. Alex, did you read ahead?
No.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Then hit overdrive in our backlog. What does that mean? Scrolling down.
Stay and find out.
No idea what that means. All right. Doesn't even fit into the
Stay
motif.
and find out, please. We need people to listen to the end, or else we don't get our analytics.
There's analytics?
You don't want to see our analytics.
You don't
Is
wanna
it
see
2? It's 2, right?
It's more than 2.
But less than 1,000.
Accurate.
Just ballparking here. You guys ready to do this? Ready for some podcast action?
I guess.
All right. I only need one. Early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that are a sequel where I swear Ghostrunner just came out, guys. We played Ghostrunner 2.
I mean, no.
It feels like it just came out. I'm not kidding.
It just came out on Switch like a year ago.
Switch doesn't count for anything.
It was 2020. It was 2020.
It feels like we played that demo.
Time is a construct.
I played that demo.
Me too.
And I'll tell you, I like the Ghostrunner 2 demo more than the first one.
I don't
first
know
demo?
if I agree
Yeah.
on that one.
I felt like it did a much better job and didn't make me feel as depressed about my inability to stab the bad guys.
Okay.
So Ghostrunner.
I felt pretty depressed about my ability to stab the bad guy.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
My 2 cents on that. I felt like this one had save points that were, or checkpoints that were a little bit closer than the last one. But again, it was a demo. I still have never played the base game of Ghostrunner. I guess I technically could, right? So what is Ghostrunner? Well, let me tell you about Ghostrunner. Alex, go ahead.
Ghostrunner is a first-person parkour game where you parkour as a Ghostrunner, a.k.a. a cyborg ninja.
Assassin. 2.0.
Cyborg ninja assassin. Sorry, I needed another...
Say 2.0.
2.0.
Say 2.0.
2.0. You
Thank you.
slide, you jump, you wall run, you hackety-hack, and you cut the bullets down with your samurai sword. You do all the things. I'm trying to think what else. You get a
bullets.
cool, perfect. You deflect when they attack at the right perfect time. You get a perfect dodge where you destroy their face.
Oh, yeah, that's satisfying.
His head exploded all over you, which was kind of gross, but also kind of cool. And what else did we get, Getty? What else did you get?
You get a grapple.
Grapple hook.
You need the grapple.
The grapple, I believe, was in
And-
the first game as well.
We got. You said time slow, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get a time slow, which also gives you the
It's a
ability
dash.
to like juke left and right, and a dash on the time slow. The tricky part for me is that the things like time slow on shift, then use A and D to like juke, and like I don't know. It felt like when I'm holding shift, that means my pinky is gone. Which
Oh my
from
god!
A,
Did you play this on a keyboard?
yes.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
So if I'm like juking, and then like I have to take my hand and look at the keyboard and like to do a juke while I'm waiting, while the time is my time slow meter is slowly going down. I'm like, how do I juke the right button? I have to move. Hold on, this button and then this button. It felt like a little confusing. I mean,
Okay.
it wasn't a bad it obviously, it's a skill issue. No one is arguing that.
I
You
think.
should try it again with a controller.
Thank you.
I mean, maybe.
Try it with the controller. It's not as bad as I was expecting with the controller.
I mean, yes.
No, because your time slow was right bumper.
Yep.
Your attack was right trigger.
Okay.
And your video is messing me up, man.
What?
Just don't pay attention to him.
Your hold the sword to deflect everything was your left bumper.
Okay.
I don't remember
I
what
got my
left
bumpers
trigger was.
and the triggers.
Yeah. Or left trigger was your shurikens.
I
That's
didn't
true.
use them that often.
Did you use your wind ability?
There's a wind ability?
Alex, this is an audio podcast. I want you to know that I appreciate that you spent the time recording yourself and are using a green screen so that we can like watch you move around behind yourself. But okay, yeah, there's a wind ability that you figure out. Well, that they have you use as you progress further into this demo. You use it to move around some of the objects that give you the boost to jumping. You guys get to the bike? You use the bike?
Yep.
I didn't. Oh wait, hold on. You know what I forgot though? Of
That
course,
there's a bike?
it's the grinding. The grinding.
Uh-huh.
What? Okay, hold on.
Alex, there's going to be a lot of dead space there.
The grinding. That was what was very cool. Was the grinding? Sorry, Paul came in here. The grinding on the rails was really fluid. That was pretty fun. You know, like you move from spot to spot. That had to like you add in the wall running, grinding, and then sliding down hills, and then jump in and attack somebody. It flowed pretty well. What was the bike?
You got a bike.
Okay.
I didn't make it to the bike.
You got
You
a
just
bike,
got a
and
bike.
you have a chase where you need to stay within range.
Was it a
of anything
mechanic?
chasing. It was a bike.
It was a bike. At this point, it was just you jump on the bike and you go.
Yeah, it was. It just looks like an actual bike racing game, like the first-person view.
Okay, but but that's like a bike level. That's not a.
It was
Like,
sort
there's-
of
there's-
part of
like,
the
there's never
same
like a-
level.
It's the same level.
But
yeah.
but you're not like gonna be, oh, I'm gonna fight and then I'm gonna get on my bike, go 5 feet, hop off, fight, get back on the bike.
No.
I
Okay.
think it was just a bike segment.
Okay.
It was a cool moment though.
Yeah.
Nice chase, lots of good boosting. Does the whole like sidewall drive across stuff going on.
Oh, so
Gaps
you
closing.
wall run / wall bike ride.
Yep.
That seems
Yep.
intense.
And it's all very smooth and fast, just on the border of being uncontrollable,
Okay.
which kind of jives with what Ghostrunner is as well. So, this is a very well-made demo, just like the first one was.
Right.
It's been a long time since we played, but I recall feeling more unguided in the first demo than this one. I think they sort of had the kind of boundaries and understood that like new people need to be walked through this a little more slowly.
See,
So
I
think the pacing was better.
kept forgetting where I was starting, so I kept going backwards, and that was like a little bit of a problem for me. I was like, wait, where did I come from? I didn't know where to go next, so I would like, oh wait, there's a wall run here, and then it turns out that's where I came from, and I was like, oh crap.
There was a point that it would show you which way to go. The little beacon
Sometimes.
on the map and in your HUD.
Sometimes, not all the time. At least in the section where I was having problems, they didn't.
You
The
need
problem
to
is
kill the enemies and then it...
his eyes were on the keyboard. That's the problem.
That was
Alex.
all.
Please confirm.
No, my eyes were not on the keyboard. When I was just standing in one spot, being like, where do I go next? No.
Well, Alec, did you have any strong feelings about Ghostrunner?
Yeah, I need to get good.
Truly, that's how I felt playing the first demo. I was like, man, it is not going to help me at all. There's not really, like Joel said, not really any guidelines. It's just like, go. This one, it was a little bit nicer. You got a couple of people talking in your ear, just giving you a little bit of instruction, some backstory. It made the pacing feel a little bit cooler to have that going on while you're, diving around trying to cut bullets out of the air and slash these guys into bits.
Yeah,
definitely
what I
like-
will say is it was really interesting too to have the multiple pathways. One area that I got stuck in had 3 major ways you could go. You could grapple across, or you could go down either a chute on the left or the right to exploding barrels.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty early on, and that's but it was really neat to try each of those pathways and to finally get past it after, I don't know, like 15 attempts. I'm not good at this game.
Okay.
It's definitely challenging.
Yeah.
I did appreciate when you got to the combat section, it opens up into a wider space and it becomes kind of more of a playground kind of thing. So there's a section where there's
But
like
it's also
5
very
different...
clear. It was very clear you are a one-hit kill.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
You do have a deflect button where it'll take 2 shots, one after another. If you actually move a little bit and hit somebody with your sword, it'll refresh the parry thing. But there are some defensive maneuvers, but it really wants you to be moving.
Yeah. It's all about movement. You got to keep moving. You're a shark. Or a ninja. Definitely one or the other.
Definitely one or the other.
With frickin' laser beams.
Did you have a bad time with the laser beams?
There were laser beams? I didn't get far enough.
There were a couple of laser beams.
The enemies shot laser beams.
Fair.
Not just that, but
Oh,
there
are
were some
laser
puzzles.
beams?
There were some puzzles with laser beams blocking.
I definitely
space.
I definitely appreciate the banter and the like. Oh, hey, we're a team, and you have like a spunky person like talking to you, like a real like spunky tween. It sounds like in your ear, and you're just like some grizzled ninja, and she's like, "Man, this sure is crazy," and you're like, "It's just another Tuesday, damn it." No, okay, that's pretty good.
Yep.
It was a good interaction.
So, Ghostrunner 2. A game that is coming out.
Oh no!
In
this
like
is
4 weeks.
people
Yeah.
should look out for this. This looks awesome, and it plays awesome.
Maybe go back and play the first one if you need to get good, or knock off the ring rust. Play the demo for the second one. Get your bike skills up to par, and then, you're going to have a good time. Speaking of bike skills, guys, who played Motordoom this week?
Oh man, I
Dave
saw
Mira
this.
meets Twisted Metal.
Something I can't remember what happened, but somehow Motordoom popped up on my feed, like either on Twitter or somewhere else, and I was like, "Oh, what are you? You are something special." And that's where I was like, "Okay, this has got a demo. We don't need to have this conversation anymore. You've got it." I saw 10 seconds and said, "Yep." End of. No, don't talk to me anymore. We're good.
This is the kind of game where it is clearly just mashing up a couple different other games, and they don't bother to hide the seams where they stitch them together. And it's weird and quirky in the best kind of ways.
Motordoom is Dave Mira / Tony Hawk, where you have like a grind button, you have flip tricks on square, you ollie on your little bike, and you're on a bike, you're on like a motorcycle, and the whole time you are also auto firing bullets at demons because you are also a sick ass skeleton, and you level up from defeating enemies while also doing sick tricks in a skate park. And then once you level up, you then will get a perk. Things like, you will do more damage, you'll shoot faster. You now get, when you're grinding, you now shoot flames out of the sides of your bike. And I played this longer than I needed to because I just wanted to keep playing it.
Wait a minute, you auto shot? Because I didn't auto shoot.
Mine auto shot too.
I think it depended, because there was one where it was like 2 motorcycle skeletons.
If you had the little sidecar with a skelly bro, they would auto shoot for you.
Skelly.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was just a dude on a bike, and I don't think that auto shot.
No.
valid.
No, you had to do left bumper and right bumper to shoot, to aim, and then to shoot.
Oh, okay. I will say that I'm Tony Hawk. For some reason I thought I remembered like turning was on triggers for some reason, which I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Turning's on the stick, and I kept trying to hold the triggers. I think that might be Skater XL. I think I might have been trying to turn like Skater XL, which is very different. But it was
sounds
still
like
like
something you would do.
it was still a blast. It was still a blast and a half. And like it looks like Tony Hawk graphics, like PS1 boxy. I fell through the world like twice, and it was
Nice.
and each time I was like, well, that's real funny. That's real like stupid. Let's keep going. And like, of course, like a metal punk song that's just like swearing in my ear the entire time. I'm just like headbanging, like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Grind.
this music was
blast
fantastic.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys excited about it?
I wish listed.
I wish listed it.
Yep. Right away.
What's your price point for this one?
$20. 25.
20
Yeah.
bucks?
I would like 15, but I would do up to 20.
I know that it was just a taste with 2 of the playable characters
Plus only one level.
and only one level, but I'd be really interested to see what else they have in store. You can play this game almost infinitely. What was the timer? Like 30 minutes, and I was just like going back and forth the whole time.
I think I played it twice.
One of those things that you could just put it on, lose yourself in Motordoom for a while, and then,
Yeah.
come back to reality. All right, guys. Metal music and skeletons? That is all. Let's take a break. Oh, hey, news. Remember when people would slow jam the news? Well, that's what Alex is doing this week. Alex, get started.
Well, there's you got a little Anita.
Wait. Brok, find a clip of that slow jam the news music here and backtrack it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
go ahead.
got this.
There's a thing called slow jam the news.
This was years ago.
Oh,
People would lose their mind for
did it have to
slow
do with
jamming
Smokey
the
Robinson?
news. Do it.
No.
Alex, do it.
I mean, she said she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, and a little Anita, and that'll definitely set this party off right. That's all I'm willing to say from a Kanye West song.
You're not going to do it, huh?
I don't
Alright.
know what that is.
All right, fine. News this week. Let's just run it down. I don't feel confident enough to slow jam. I didn't practice. I thought Alex would pull through, but he just tore out my heart and stomped on it.
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry series coming to Netflix. Heyo. If it's anything like Castlevania, I'll be shaking my head going, what just happened?
And loving every minute of it.
Maybe.
Alex, did you watch that Castlevania one?
Yeah. It's bonkers.
Not the new one.
I didn't.
Bonkers.
It was good. I liked it.
I didn't watch any. I watched one episode and I was like, that's pretty good, and then I just never went back to it.
Maybe go back to it.
Speaking of Netflix shows.
Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim anime.
Nope.
You sure?
Read the next one, Getty.
They got the whole cast back for it.
Getty, read the next piece of news.
I don't know why this Scott Pilgrim anime isn't with the other Netflix ones, but okay, Tomb Raider series coming to Netflix. Is that live action?
Nope, that's anime.
Is that animated?
And it's based off of it's following the new trilogy.
The new trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
Not even the old trilogy.
I mean, technically, this is a prequel.
It's a prequel to the prequel, right?
No, it's a postquel to the prequel, but prequel to the original.
When does the squeakquel come in?
You know, I've seen the squeakquel, and it's still no Paddington 2.
Okay,
Paddington 2.
fair enough.
There's a film.
Yeah, we're not going to get too sidetracked on Paddington.
When he goes to prison.
Xbox Cloud Gaming coming to Quest 3.
Like that Joel
What's
knows
Quest
what I'm
3? Is that like a refrigerator?
It's a refrigerator you wear on your face.
Ah. Keeping it cool then.
Yeah, it's like $500.
What? Where are we at?
Okay. I'd pay $500 for a refrigerator.
I mean, if you want to talk about what's a weird thing to happen with a weird thing, Resident Evil 4 Remake coming to iPhone. What number are we on? 15? 16?
I think it's 15 titanium.
Yep. Resident Evil 4 Remake, and it is $60.
American?
Mm-hmm.
American.
Shoot. Okay.
Yep. So if
Well,
you
that's kind of crazy.
play it on your phone.
Did you want to add anything about Xbox Cloud Gaming coming to your headset, your Quest 3?
Quest 3 is not out yet.
No, it comes out October
There you go.
10th.
Okay.
Only that I saw people sort of dunking on it online because it's one of those things where it makes you feel like you're sitting in a theater, playing something instead. That's kind of a fun novelty to do, though, on those things. We have Netflix on ours, and I don't use it, but you pop it open for a minute, it's just like that. That's kind of a cool aesthetic thing. So, back off, nerds.
I mean, I've watched movies on that, and not even full movies. I just watched like 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, I get it, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Just like everything with VR.
Yeah.
Bam, man. And you're talking about people dunking on it, and you just dunked on it so hard. You posterized it.
Alex, your arm is clipping off the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just so you know.
It's hot in here, Getty.
Next one. Next piece of news. Bye-bye Jim Ryan.
Who is that?
He is the current face of Sony. He was the a lot of people are kind of happy about this because he was the PS5, like he was the head launch of the PS5, and that did not go so great. Joel, what other are some of his greatest hits? Do you remember?
Basically saying that old games had no value.
Oh yeah, why would anybody want to
Ooh.
emulate? Like why would you want old games to come onto the new consoles?
Like, and this was shortly before the PlayStation 1 Classic came out, which really sort of colored what was going to happen there, because that came out and it was mostly just like lambasted for being the I guess the international copies of the games had a different refresh rate, and it messed up all the inputs when you try to play them on these emulators.
In the
Yikes.
gaming sphere, like all of these personalities are the front facings of the people the decision makers end up being like the front facing personality people, and
Okay.
Jim Ryan was the current one at Sony. If you ever heard, like Phil Spencer's a big name from he's the Microsoft or the Xbox guy.
Right.
Who's the current Doug Bowser for Nintendo?
Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
No
Nintendo's
relation
a lot
to-
less front facing. I mean, Doug Bowser took the place of Reggie Fils-Aimé, but Reggie was in all those presentations, and they have folks from Nintendo Japan really leading the Nintendo Direct stuff.
Yep. So
Cool.
Just interesting how that shifted.
Yep. So everyone's kind of hyped / oh, okay, this is a big deal because now they're gonna who's gonna be the next head of PlayStation. Either way. Hey, Miguel.
What? Next piece of news. Capcom president says video game prices are too low. Yeah, okay. I could see
Yep.
that.
Seems wrong.
Well, if you think about the time and energy and money that they put into these games, and
Maybe they should make cheaper games.
Maybe. Are they going to?
no.
Did you see, did you see that tweet from Hideo Kojima today, basically being like, "Oh, if you're not keeping up with the arms race, you're left behind and you won't make it," kind of sentimentality. I guess everybody's into that now. It just seems weird, because it feels like there's some disconnection where like Nintendo's able to really rate it in from the people who don't care so much about the technological advancements, just kind of short-sighted.
I know that it costs a lot now with all the salaries that these big AAA studios have to fulfill, and it doesn't help that you got companies like Unity trying to screw over the little guys. Yep. I can't agree with this guy's sentiment, but I mean I hear what he's saying.
Yeah, and I think part of it is
But
also
you got to know your target audience.
Well, the other part is that if you think about it, like N64, some of those games end up being like $80. Right? Like that's a thing that was happening at some point.
I think we're talking about different economics a bit, because the cost drivers back then were about the plastic.
That was all
physical
cartridge
carton material there, and part of what PlayStation was able to eat their lunch about was we have those discs. They cost a fraction of what these carts make. Now we can sell these games for $40 across the board. Square Enix $50 or $60 if they're being squirrely about it. And the price now goes back into, I think, what you said, Daddy. It's like the scope and size of these games. You add the salary, the man hours behind what it takes to accomplish something like an Assassin's Creed game now. I don't know how you separate that from the cost of game making, or at least mitigate it. I just don't know how you do that without saying, okay, we're going to just make maybe less expansive, shorter games. And that's not where the money's at, I guess.
I mean, or is it? Look at how well Sea of Stars did in its Kickstarter.
True. Yeah. I mean, they're a success story when it comes to the indie spaces, for sure.
The other thing is that they were one of the few holdouts that were keeping things 60, and they just bumped their games to 70 now.
So, what you got? What do you have from them recently? If I have anything, it's a Resident Evil game.
Capcom?
Did you end up getting Street Fighter?
Capcom?
Street Fighter. I
mean, Monster Hunter.
Street Fighter.
Monster Hunter was one of the things that kept them afloat. Like Monster Hunter World being as big as it was. I mean, they don't have Mega Man. They don't have like a whole lot of stuff going on. So, like Monster Hunter World was like such a big like surprise hit that it saved them when they had like a horrible year with Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
And
they don't have a lot going on.
DMC's,
so what are you gonna do?
DMC's pretty close to done for the most part. Devil May Cry, so they don't have a ton.
Well, let's get into some happy news. Get back to our happy place here. Stardew Valley update bring 8 players co-op. Woo!
We do not deserve concern.
You could have. It's crazy that they're still putting out these updates, and now you're going to be able to bring 7 of your friends into your game.
Considering that he's
7
also
friends. You have more than 7 friends?
No.
Do you have 7?
Internet? Yeah, you have 7 friends.
Internet friends or real friends?
Internet friends that you would play Stardew with.
That's the thing, is that
we're still back
I'm
down
closer.
to
I would never want to play Stardew
closer
with people.
then.
This is my farm, and don't mess with it.
I want to come to your
It's
farm.
very particular. I have it set up the way I like it, and I don't want you touching stuff.
And just chop down all your
I know,
trees.
and that's why I don't do it. You can water my stuff, and then you walk away. Walk away.
I wish I could find a way into Alex's
I know
game.
you do.
Get into his chest and take the most valuable stuff and just sprinkle it around the land like an Easter egg hunt.
No. You'd probably
No, I would just put it next to the.
romance the girl that I want.
I'd switch the items between the chests.
Yeah.
Put all of his ore in the one with all the
You'd
wood.
let my chickens out.
Oh yeah, if he'd mess up his organization.
Let my chickens out. That would be a whole thing.
That's evil.
My greenhouse is in disarray.
That would drive me insane.
My mind is completely clean. Everything would be chaos.
That's what I love to hear. Other game that just got co-op was Vampire Survivors. Now Vampire Survivors is getting a whiteout update. What is a whiteout update?
It's a theme, right? Like it might be like an evil winter thing for the game with the new.
It's a new level,
new content.
I like it.
And
I like Vampire Survivors.
And it's free DLC, so you don't have to pay for it.
Woo!
That's what
They
free
deserve
means.
money.
No. What's a battle pass again?
Great question, Teddy.
How do I win a battle pass?
You clear it. You can finish a.
Can I win a battle pass?
A battle pass, yeah.
Can
Yes.
you? I don't know if that's true.
I finished several.
No. What if it's a battle pass to unlock characters? Does that still
Usually
count?
battle
Can you
passes
finish
can
that?
have unlocked characters, yes. Character skins, characters, avatars, sound effects.
Wait, the Avatar?
Man, I
Or
played a lot of it.
we talking about
I
that
definitely
James
got
Cameron
that first,
thing?
Overwatch 2 battle pass, and an Apex battle pass, etc., etc. What else we got?
Really? I'm so sorry.
That was cool.
Nope, still sorry. Let's go over to new Super Mario 3D open world rumored in development for Switch 2. That was a mouthful. Kirby would be proud.
So we've got a rumored game for a rumored system.
Well, this
Switch 2 is
it's not
confirmed,
confirmed,
Alex.
but it's pretty like
It's
like
confirmed.
17
Alex
people-
knows. He talked to the guys.
17 people
that
have
were
come forward
talking to
and
the
said,
guys.
"Yeah, we've seen it. We're working on it."
He talked to the guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, we know there's going to be a Switch 2, but the rumors are when and what it's going to be.
Well, I mean,
how powerful.
If you go by recent news, there's already companies
building games
integrating their expected revenue from their supply chain into producing a new console for a big gaming manufacturer.
And as powerful
So
as a
it's-
PS4.
So the pieces are all there. The question is, what is it going to be? You know, everything we hear says next year sometime, but
Next Christmas time or
who
around there.
knows?
But yeah,
Oh,
the rumors,
yeah.
the words have always been like, "Oh, as powerful as a PS4."
Yeah, that came out of the Microsoft hearings.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful.
So powerful.
But is it going to be as powerful as Red Dead Redemption 2? Rumored coming to Switch? And it's not even the cloud version.
This has gone gold. That hasn't gone gold. It is.
It's gone
it's-
gold. We're reporting on real
No,
news.
what is it that it's? It was rated. It was rated for a video game company, but it was like out of a different country, and they don't. And that country doesn't do cloud gaming, so it's like, wait, how would this is gonna look? Probably pretty rough.
No.
Probably.
No, there's no way. Did you not see MK1?
It might
the
look
Switch?
like MK1.
Flawless victory.
Oh, man.
I was very disappointed I didn't get a chance to review that on Switch, to be honest.
I have nightmares from some of those pictures.
I want first-hand experience.
Well, you could, it's it's
And you don't
60
want
or
to pay
$70
the,
bucks, Joel.
the big
Get
price
it.
tag.
No, not worth it. I have 11. I need to actually play that.
$11 or MK11?
MK11.
Sorry, I have 11. My money, my mind went to money.
Oh, man.
Yep. We're off the rails here. El Paso Elsewhere goes 1.0. Hey guys, I heard we have a review on the site. The Super GG Radio
We
site.
do reviews sometimes. Big brother to the
we
website,
don't.
Philip Arona, did one on El Paso Elsewhere, which he really enjoyed. You got to read to find out what else he had to say.
Cool. Like that. Counter-Strike 2 goes 1.0.
That's for you, Getty.
That's big news for Alex. He's the biggest Counter-Strike 2 player I know.
So what does going 1.0 mean in this case?
It means that they are done with all of the stuff they need to do. So it's officially implemented as Counter-Strike 2.
Well, no, I think it's...
So is the idea that anything beyond this would be extra paid content, or are they just saying like this is a complete package and we don't see any updates as being like fixing a problem?
So if you recall, there was the original Counter-Strike, and then there were a bunch of other iterations of it. The last one being CS:GO. All right, Global Offensive. They changed CS:GO to free-to-play. And then Counter-Strike 2, I believe, is also now free-to-play. So everything that happens after this, it should just be, this is Counter-Strike 2.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't stop them from doing the whatever Battle Pass stuff.
Was
items
Overwatch
and-
2 that much of an improvement, Joel?
I would have liked that game more if I had people to play it with and I didn't have to deal with randoms.
But what I'm saying is that it's very
is an
similar to,
improvement.
if not just the same game, with some.
It's not the same game. It's not. There were meaningful changes to it.
Were there?
I mean, but
Yes.
like, no. What I'm saying is that
Were they all good, meaningful changes?
did
No.
the shooting
but there were
did the
meaningful
shooting
changes.
feel the same? Were their levels prettier but kind of the same? Obviously, there were new ones, but the originals, were they prettier but pretty much the same?
I barely saw the originals in there. I think most of the stuff's newer stuff.
The levels weren't in there.
But yes, it is a little nicer.
Yeah,
looking.
but that's what I mean, though. So
It's
Counter-Strike
not,
2.
It's not revolutionary.
Counter-Strike 2, it's not like, oh, this is like a whole new game. It's actually like, oh, this is Counter-Strike. I remember Counter-Strike. This kind of looks a little bit better, but it's also Counter-Strike. People will not play this and be like, what the hell is this? They're going to be like, oh, okay, this is just the game, but it looks a little prettier.
This is new Counter-Strike. I mean, how much can it really change? It for sure got a graphical overhaul.
Smoke
and,
tech.
I'm almost positive that you're going to have all the Steam levels that you used to. It's going to have the same
Nodes.
feel, but they're just doing upgrades to it. They're making it fancy. Okay. I already said Scott Pilgrim anime. Alex, did you know that they're getting all the original voice
yes, we reported on this
actors?
long ago, but also Scott Pilgrim isn't. It was one video game.
I don't understand what the statement is here.
What's next?
You said it was one video game.
I'm saying is that Scott Pilgrim isn't necessarily a video game property.
We're all things adjacent.
fair.
Yeah, we're adjacent.
I figured this was within the range of stuff you'd
I
like.
should-
or
Alex,
Alex,
something
you've
on the
had me
show would be
report on
interesting.
weirder
I think
stuff
that
in
it's
here.
more that like I'm just ready for it to be there. Like I'm like it's just like it. People have been hyping this up for a long time, and I'm like, it looks like the graphic novel book. That's cool. Well, let's get it out. Let's make it happen. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I know what it is. I'm excited. Let's hear
Alright.
more Sex
Alright.
Bomb. Give me more of those tracks.
You might actually get to hear Crash and the boys.
With Crash and that one boy. Is that girl a boy?
You know what time it
Yes.
is. It's time for freebies. Freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies!
Hey, did you hear about the guy who went to the beekeeper and asked for 12 bees, but they gave him 13?
He got a freebie.
Yeah, the last one was a freebie.
Woo! Love it. Guys, let's do this. First one up. The hardest game ever over on Steam. That's the name of it. The hardest game
You're
ever.
a potted plant, and you are doing crazy, super difficult platforming challenges. This is kind of one of those games that's like meant to be mean. You're doing just jumping platforming that is built to be nearly impossible, and then you just die 1,000 times. A la Super Meat Boy. Looks fun. Looks like it plays real fast and loose. So enjoy the zaniness.
That's an unfortunate name. When I tried to search that,
The hardest game ever?
it did not even go on the first page for me.
Oh,
on Steam.
Ouch.
That's
It is.
unfortunate. But I am
You checking it out right now?
Joel, you know what you should redeem. Nope.
myself.
Getty, hit him with the second one.
I'm typing it out to see. Is this supposed to be Star Trek
Nope.
World?
Joel,
Or
you should
it's
get
ST
ST World. ST World.
Next gen voxel.
You ever want to
engine?
play? You ever want to like build a voxel world? Maybe your kids will like this one. Imagine, you ever see those like really intense Minecraft, like, oh, we build a cathedral? Well, now
Yeah.
imagine that, but that's all this is. It's like a real, like it's an engine that's built for this. So it's just about like building these worlds and then using tools and AI, aka Joel, a video game graphical engine. See where I'm going with this?
I don't like it.
He's trying to help
That's right.
you.
Well, you said that your child wanted to possibly get into video games.
I'm still not sure if I'm trying to encourage
Well,
that.
I mean, this will give him something to put
I don't know. This software is working, but not well optimized, especially with PCs with less than 16 gigs of RAM. So you might want to wait.
Can really mess up the world.
Nice.
And this is not a review. This is their description of the game.
Well, they got to give you a
Okay.
warning.
Do they?
And next one, Getty?
We don't have any Epic Game Store ones on here this week. All right, that's fine. Final Fantasy 14 free everywhere, just for you.
This, you know
listener.
Final Fantasy 14, the world popular MMORPG, free everywhere up until I think the second expansion. Now we're still going on. You could even play through the first expansion. So you can play free, make a character, get him to that level, go through the expansion content. It's to the point that the story beats are even in the updates. So you got to go through the updates and get all the badass story content. Because the new expansion's coming soon.
Nice.
I'm calling shenanigans
what?
here.
For
On that one. I'm seeing $20.
Yeah, you have to click on the download demo for it instead of buying the starter edition.
I'm not even showing that. Final Fantasy 14.
he probably owns a
Online
copy.
free
There you go.
trial. You have
Yep.
to
Yeah.
do that. Is that
Nope.
new?
First, it was you get through the whole base game, and then there's 3 expansions, and those cost money or a subscription. But then since they were about to have their 4th expansion, they also added in the first expansion as free.
Okay.
Y'all good?
I actually messed myself up here because I paid for it on, like I paid when it first came out. It wasn't free, and because I paid for it once, they said, "Oh, you now don't get the free trial."
Yeah,
It's never free.
I had beta access for it, and they said, nope, that
Yeah, me
counts
too.
as paying for it.
No, I actually
Bummer.
paid for
Gross.
it. Like, nope.
All right, depending on how well Alex slow jammed the news, we may need a long or short break. He didn't do it, so I don't know. Do we even need a break? You guys need a break?
Yep, give me a minute.
We'll be back. Oh, hey, we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games. Battle Royale. No.
Joel, you got your F-Zero.
No.
You happy? You sad?
I got it. I got an F-Zero. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
exactly everything that you wanted.
Yeah, isn't that what this
No.
is?
It's
Thank you, Alex. No. It is not what I wanted.
But it's
but-
what you got.
Yep. What is that line at the end of The Dark Knight?
It's not the one
hero
that
you
you
wanted.
needed, but the one you deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what F-Zero 99
And
is.
I think that this is closer to the Thanos one. What did you do? What did it cost you?
everything.
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 So you got F-Zero, and what did you cost you? Your dignity.
Everything.
So
So I was not up on this when it first was announced. I mean, I thought it was a cool concept, but I was really angling for something akin to F-Zero GX at least coming out. I'm not convinced a new one is going to really ever come out. So even if they could give that concession, I'd be happy. But they announced this. It was released the same day as the Nintendo Direct that it was announced on. It is the Super NES F-Zero, tooled to be a 99 racer race, and it is chaos. It is utter chaos. The actual racing of it is pretty darn close to what the old F-Zero is. They did add the spin feature, which was something they added later on in the games, but that wasn't in the Super Nintendo version. And you use that a lot in trying to pick away at your enemies, and you can knock and destroy other racers along with that too, which then feeds into your boost power. And the more enemies you can knock out, you can then add on extra boost power each time you do that. There are also this air lane fast track. You've got this yellow bar line that goes up incrementally, because the farther back you are, people combating with each other, they'll drop yellow pellets on the ground, and as you grab them, if you hit the full bar, it'll jump you off to the track, and then it's basically just a whole boost around the entire track when you're doing that. And then you're on there as long as this meter goes down. The actual races themselves are pretty brisk. Like I've said, it's pretty frantic. It is kind of like the Fortnite thing where, after a certain amount of time, if you're not within the circle, which in this case would be okay, everybody within 80th place and under is in the safe zone. And then anybody outside of that, it'd be a countdown. And if you are outside of that when the countdown ends, a vacuum comes and just sucks you back in the air and you just
cool.
By. Yeah. So they've tweaked stuff on this new game to modernize it a little bit. The actual speed of it feels slower, which is something I didn't love at first, but in action, you can still feel the slowness, but there's so much chaos going on in the tracks themselves that it really doesn't matter too much. You're still just really dealing with that kind of frenetic action. It really is almost just like fighting in a pack of bees, trying to get through all of it.
What place have you gotten?
4th is the best place I've gotten in one race. They've got general races, which is just one track. They have Grand Prix that are available not sure if it's every hour, but every so often. And there's a ticket system where you have to pay 3 tickets to get into it. You get tickets by getting experience playing normal matches. You get tickets for signing in the first time in a day. You gain enough tickets to where, assuming you're not somebody that's really going crazy, you should be able to get a couple Grand Prix in if you really want to. It's not tough to do that. The Grand Prix consist of, like in the original game, like the Night Cup, it'd be the 5 different tracks from that cup. The tracks play pretty close to what I remember it being in the Super Nintendo game for those. A little bit developed, just the way it starts is everybody is in this outer rim and then driving towards the entryway into the actual track. That way it helps sort of winnow them in without it being a mess from the start. And beyond that, there's a little bit of customization of your car. It's really just color palette swaps and design changes. You can do your title or license with little decals showing you've gotten 50 knockouts or something like that as you gain these as well. And I just read here that they're going to add another cup pretty soon.
And it sounds like there's going to be more tracks as well.
Right. So hopefully that's a good sign that it's active and it remains active. This will be in my rotation for now until they take it off eventually, I guess.
Yeah, because Pac-Man is leaving.
Okay.
Now with the Grand Prix,
Yeah, Pac-Man is on its way out.
Sorry, Alec.
with the Grand Prix, do they keep all the players from every race, or do they continue, or do they wheedle them out as well?
It whittles down. So it starts at 99 at, let's say, Mute City, and then it'll be top 80, proceeds or gets to go along. Mind you, people explode and KO out of these matches as well. So oftentimes it'll end up being not up to 99th place. It'll be like 80 people, made it to the next round. 10 got knocked out from exploding, and then the other 10 just got disqualified for driving too slow, right?
Yeah.
And so it'll be like 80, 60, 40, and then 20, I think, are the numbers for it.
Oh, wow.
So it creates a funny thing where the first couple levels are, you really just want to sort of survive and be somewhere in the middle of the pack, because who cares, you get to go on as long as you're not getting kicked out at the end. But then as everything gets more available, you're also dealing with that more natural, like, I actually have to be really good against these people to beat them rather than just survive. So I've survived. I have not won a Grand Prix yet. But even that, it feels pretty cool when you can make it to the end.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm
happy that
I'm
you
glad
got F-Zero.
You got F-Zero, the dream F-Zero that you could ever wanted.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Nintendo for a while were talking about the reason why F-Zero never came back is because they ran out of ideas, and it seems like they found an idea, and it works really well for what it is.
You guys have another 99 that you would like, that you could put in there? Like, what game would you play as a 99?
I don't know that there is one that would speak to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zelda 64.99.
I don't know, how would that work?
That'd be a hardcore 99.
You just
You
running
imagine
around on Epona the whole time?
99's a Link's on here.
That's
Yep.
a nightmare.
Oh. 99 Navis.
99
Nope,
hey
nightmare
listens.
fuel.
Yes.
Yep.
Ugh.
Hey, listen.
Speaking of
Yep.
nightmare fuel, Alex, do you want to tell us about your experience with the Dead Space remake?
I finished the Dead Space remake. I told you I was going to buckle down and knock some games out, and that's what I did. And we while we had discussed part of it before, I did want to. There were some things that I did want to, like the things that we missed, which were that Joel with this game, there's like a D&D like DM, like Dungeon Master system in the background. So
Really?
what makes the game kind of dynamic is the fact that, first off, you only get ammo on the weapons that you have. That you have so there's like 8 weapons. 8 is like 7 or 8 weapons. You can carry them all.
I think
but if you carry them all, you're constantly getting little bits of ammo for each one. So you want to like only carry like 4 or 5 and put the rest in storage. That way, as you play, you will only get ammo for those.
I think you still find ammo
you
for
don't.
the other
No,
weapons
it's officially you don't.
Well, you're talking about the drops. You can still find the ammo for other weapons that you do or do not have on your inventory in
you can't.
the lockers
No,
that you come
you can't.
across.
I know for a fact you can't.
I had a whole bunch of ammo for weapons
beat the game.
I want
was-
you to know that I was collecting
at
ammo
chapter
for
s-
weapons that I wasn't even using, and I would just go and
I was
sell
at
it
chapter 6.
to the vendor.
I was at chapter 6, and I was getting all the ammo, and I remembered that this was a key feature, so I stored half of my weapons, so I would only get ammo and only use the weapons that mattered to me, and that's what happened. I never got ammo for any of the other weapons for the next half of the game. Half.
That
It
doesn't
was
seem
by
right to me.
design. It was a choice, and that's what's cool about it. The other part is that like some enemy encounters are also like they're not randomized. They like, oh, this room has enemies. Which ones? That it can be randomized. I've died in a situation and then gone back to that exact spot and the enemies were different. And that's where
Do you
what makes
like
it fun.
that?
And what's cool is that that also puts in occasionally I like to use a guide, but it's funnier because the guides are like, go into this room, you'll fight some enemies. Generic statement. Oh, this locker has ammo. Generic statement. because it can change, and that's what makes the game more dynamic. Is that there's set jump scares, and there's set enemy encounters, but the which enemies you fight and the ammo is varied, and that's what's cool. Especially also considering that it makes for stressful situations. The stuff that they give you and the amount of stuff they give you is also just a little bit like, oh crap! I have 4 weapons, and I'm out of 1. Like I'm out of ammo on 1 or 2, and it'll only give me ammo for like one other one, and it's like, oh crap! I still don't have any ammo for this, and it's like purposely like, oh, why are you giving me ammo for this? I don't want ammo for this. I want ammo for this other weapon. Crap. But the game will do that, and I've died, gone back, opened that locker, and the ammo was different. So you could technically, scum save, reload, and then go open a locker and get something different. But it's just kind of it's a fun feature that makes the game feel dynamic.
This has made me less interested
Why?
in Dead Space. I'm not sure if I like the randomized aspect of it. Like one of the things I liked about the Resident Evils I've played is they're very scripted. You know where things are going to happen. So the first time you get that jump experience, but if you're going to go replay it, it turns into more of a, okay, I'm just see how well I can get through this without.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is that like I want the dynamicness, because it makes it so again I always have to think on my toes. Every experience I'm just like, well, crap, okay. How am I going to... Okay, so I know what type of enemies are in the area, but I don't know like what order or which ones are going to get at me, so it makes it so it feels...
I'm going to tell you, in my experience, and had the same enemies going into the room. Now, after I cleared a room, it was a different story. But I know that if I died and I went into the room again, it would be the same amount of enemies that I had just fought. And I want to say 99% of the time, they were the same ones. And Alex, I just checked online, and it still says that you get items for weapons, or the ammo for weapons, that you don't have in your inventory.
I'll look it up again, because
possible.
I'm telling you that never happened to me.
I just read 3 different articles and people posting like, yeah, it seems like for the most part, it is not... for 90% of the time, you're getting
I put away
the stuff.
The force gun, never saw ammo for it again.
I'd still see ammo in lockers and stuff, and I would just sell it right away
because
I wasn't using it.
So what I'm learning is that I will need to play to figure out whether or not it's a game I'd like.
Well, no, Dead Space.
Did you play the original?
Is a classic, and I do think that everyone should play it. It's very fun, and it's unique.
This is a good game, and I'll tell you that I enjoyed it a lot. If you are not a fan of horror, you don't like jump scares, so here's where it gets really fun. If you're the kind of person that is not willing to take the power core out of the lights so you can plug it into an elevator, this game is not for you.
Yeah, there is a section where it's like, hey, do you want to do...
Pretty early on.
You have to tear... the battery, you have to go open the elevator across, the hallway. But you have to turn off the lights and reroute the power.
And you know that the second that you take that battery out, there's going to be spooky monsters.
Now, this is one of those games where it shows the gruesome deaths, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because one thing I distinctly remember is eye stuff, and I did not like seeing.
Well, that was a Dead
that
Space
at
2,
all.
and that was one situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be
Yes.
spared that then. All right.
Yeah, you'll be spared
Makes
that.
it more likely.
But you won't be spared from, your head got ripped off and now there's a monster that's crawling into it and your head's walking away. Or this thing with 2 giant scythe arms just cut your body into ribbons.
And then, Getty, the thing is called the Intensity Director.
The
it's a new system
Director.
designed to keep
What's
players
that?
teetering on the edge of their seats.
Oh.
So they built it in. Obviously, there probably is some faults to it, but for the most part, the idea is that it's supposed to be more dynamic.
There's some pretty spooky parts. You can always do it on one of the easier settings if you want to still experience it, but it's going to get crazy. That's all I'm going to say. If you never played it, I don't want to wreck it.
Like if you
I don't
there
want
is
you
an
to
easy
figure
mode
it
and a
out.
normal mode, and the normal mode is fine. But I do think that like it is, for me, this is, I would probably say top 10 horror games of all time. Dead Space.
I have Dead Space. I have the original.
No, that one. You know that game.
It
holds up. There's nothing wrong with that game. That game is excellent.
You got a
Yes.
Steam Deck?
You should. Yeah.
It plays very well on Steam Deck. That's how I played Dead Space.
Yeah. It's very good.
Okay.
Just be careful with those jump scares because nobody wants you to throw.
Oh
your
no!
Steam Deck.
Don't get me wrong. There were some times where I'd just be walking and then I'd hear like the terrible sounds of the monsters, like screeching, just awfulness, and I would jump. I would literally jump.
Were you wearing headphones?
No.
Oh.
No, I was just holding it. And then it'd be like, "Eeeeet!" And I'd be like, no! Usually it would be followed by, son of a...
It's very cool the process of like how you're like, this isn't like Resident Evil shoot it in the head. It's you have a cutter because your character is an engineer, so all of the weapons are actively like, for the most part, tools of a space engineer would use. Like instead of a buzzsaw, you get a buzzsaw that shoots a blade out and then it hovers in front of you. So it's like a space buzzsaw, but it's like really funny because again, the mechanic is not shooting them in the head. You're supposed to dismember them. So enemies, your cutter gun or
Like a
your
surgical
buzzsaw, the buzzsaw is what I use 90% of the time. I just popped the blade out and it was right in front of me and just ran at them and just like chopped them into pieces. So it's like it's again a wholly different type of game where you're like, okay, I have this laser cutter, I better shoot for the legs and then the arms, and then he'll die. It's very, very cool.
Okay.
And again, the dynamic nature of it was made it much more interesting. So that was my experience with it, at least. And again, from this article here from EA Insider, they worked really hard on it, so they should be proud. Dead Space was great. Glad I played it. Glad I beat it. On to the next one.
Now he's going to go back and he's going to do the run where you only use the plasma cutter.
I am not good at the aim on that thing.
I'm halfway through that run.
Just not good at that aim. Now the buzzsaw.
I mean, you just aim
buzzsaw.
and shoot.
That's where it's at.
I don't know the sound that the gun makes. I just know the sound the man makes when he dies.
I'm glad they made him talk.
There's a lot of
I'm glad they
grunting
made
here.
him talk. Joel, in the
He
original
talks a little
series,
bit.
everybody just hated him and was mad at him all the time, and he was a silent protagonist. So it would be very funny. Someone would be like, "Oh, Isaac, you're the worst. Just like, why are you even here? Go away." And then you'd like save their lives, and they'd be like, "Yeah, it took you long enough, Isaac. What the heck?" And I was like, "What is this character?"
He's having a bad day. This is just like the mechanic that goes out to fix something and everything
in part
goes
3,
wrong.
it's just you saving a ice planet while hanging out with your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, and the entire time he's just like, "Isaac, you're such a loser." It's like, what is this game? It's so mean. The game was so mean to Isaac Clarke. He's the best. Anyway, I'm glad that he talks now, and you can see his face, and he seems like a cool dude, so good for him.
All right. Guys, that'll take us over to our final segment of the night. One last thing. And this week's one last thing is brought to you by the games just won't stop coming out. There's just still so many games to play.
Cocoon,
And it's September.
Spider-Man,
There's just
Witchfire, the Hellboy, Web of Weird.
you're just naming the games that you
I
have
didn't
to
get
review.
Spider-Man. Wish I got Spider-Man.
I wish we all
will
got
have
Spider-Man.
Who here is playing
Day
Spider-Man
one right
at
here,
launch?
baby.
Alex thinks that.
I will
it's
drop
not going to
everything.
happen. No, he won't. It'll be like the Armored Core fiasco of 2023.
Dead Space was on the list, man. Now Dead Space is knocked out.
Dead Space was on the list of what you still got Final Fantasy 16.
Yes, but I'm
don't
not
you?
going to. Spider-Man
All right.
comes along, that's going on the back burner.
I will go. I will tell you my one last thing. I have made significant progress, at least I feel, in Lies of P. I look forward to walking around and shooting my flamethrower at everything that moves. Alex?
Now with Dead Space done, and I'm at the tail end of Sea of Stars on that true ending. The world is my oyster, Getty. What should I play? Nah, I already know what I'm going to play. It's fine.
You're going to go back and finish one of the 15 games that you started earlier this year?
Yeah, probably Final Fantasy 16. It's already in the drive. It's ready to go.
It's already in
Yeah, that means
the
I'm ready to
drive.
play it. It's in the drive. Yep.
Okie dokie. Joel?
I'm slowly continuing to progress in Armored Core. You said the sea cucumber is where I'm currently.
It's the sea spider, but I just...
It might as
It's
well
a
just be
sea cucumber to me.
seafood or sea
Okay.
crab, sea lobster. They're all spiders of the sea.
Oh, all right. So I'm stuck there, and what I decided to do is go back and replay some missions, try to get some S rankings, and then I realized I'm getting some money. Maybe I should just go buy everything, and so I went and bought everything,
Cool.
and
Yeah.
now I have everything.
Can I ask, so you're on the end of Chapter 2 boss.
Mm-hmm.
Do his lasers still go through his body?
I didn't notice that, but I was also flailing wildly, so I'm not sure if I had paid.
Joel, how many
enough
buttons are you
attention to
pressing at any
notice.
given time? The answer is not enough.
Minimum 3. You have to be pressing at least 3 at any given time.
My hands sometimes move faster than my brain playing this game. You had to be very
That's why I asked.
reflexive.
I'm not kidding. 3, at least 3. You should always be shooting every weapon that you have all the time.
Oh, no joke, and you have to time the act. It's like playing a drum. You have to like do the right
And
beats on the
thousands and
different-
thousands of missiles
to shoot them out right. So good, so good.
All right. Alec,
Well, I hope to break the survival cycle on Subnautica so we can actually turn it in next week.
Yep.
oh, that's not a joke. I have it here. I think
No.
it's all caps in the doc.
It is.
Yep.
Homework officially due next week so we can focus on spooky homework.
Getty, what is the spooky
Okay,
homework?
so we're going from one homework
Just
to
people
the
can
other
get hyped.
homework. We were back and forth on a couple of things, and you know the last few years we've really tried to hammer down and pick games that we felt like were impactful or that made a difference in the
And that's why
horror
we're playing
genre,
Dead Space
or at least-
again.
Well, you can play Dead Space again, but the rest of us will be playing Telltale's The Walking Dead, the original.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Get
Good
excited.
choice.
Get excited.
good choice.
Get real sad and get real excited and get scared at times. Real sad. An awful amount of sad. But hey, let's wait for that. We'll have a whole podcast episode about that. And maybe we got a couple of other things in the pipeline here. Should definitely check us out. We got reviews. We got, I don't know. Alex, what do? We do
We
other
got the
stuff
TikToks.
too, right?
We got the YouTubes. We got all sorts of stuff going on, man. Right now, the big thing is that go to drinkpoggers.com and use offer code GOODGAME. Also, Twitch at twitch.tv/SuperGGRadio. Monday, I am in the backlog monster hunting. Rising to the Monster Hunters. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing about Skeeter XL and Chill, so we're going to skip that. Joel on Wednesdays is... What are you doing, Joel? Are you still trying to... Are you gonna keep going at hammering away at the Lion King? Sega Genesis Lion King?
I I have to finish the fight.
That's a fool's errand, my friend. Joel will continue to finish the fight in the Sega Genesis Lion King.
Might as well drop some F-bombs if you're going to do
Yeah.
that.
At least one.
Thursday is our podcast
Self-imposed punishment.
where you can watch us live while I do silly things to webcams. And then you guys streaming? Are you doing
Alex, ready to
Saturdays or
fuck
no?
up.
Thank you. There you go. There we go. We got your F-bomb. Joel, are you doing Saturdays or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got one level in Escape Academy, but also we need to play through Disney's Illusion Island. Outdid her. We'll do our vegetables first and finish Escape Academy, which is really mean to say because it's a very good game.
It's a good one. All right, and that is our streaming plans for the week.
Really? Thank you. I didn't expect you to do that, but all right, fine. Fine. It's just fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Fine. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex. Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
I don't have anything funny to say this week. All right.
I don't think you